Hello, thanks for your company. Today, what's new in art? Starting in Abu Dhabi, the French culture minister gives her seal of approval to the new Louvre museum, calling it a magnificent work of art. Lions and giraffes and dodos, oh my! I experienced some jungle fever at Paris's Natural History Museum. And they were mysterious, impressive and sophisticated. A new exhibition in Paris explores the Maya. First, it's the most visited museum in the world. 10 million people a year come to Paris to see the Louvre. 2 years ago, its first outpost was unveiled in Lens in northern France, and now work is underway on a third, this time in Abu Dhabi. A year before it's due to open, the French culture minister has been to see if it's up to scratch, as Mark Thompson reports.
A practically barren peninsula over 6,500 kilometres from Paris. Home to a stainless steel dome, a future branch of one of the world's most famous museums. The Louvre Abu Dhabi will span 9,200 square metres of art galleries. Among them, a permanent collection housing both ancient and contemporary pieces. Celebrated French architect Jean Nouvel designed the building. He says the structure is a reflection of the way a traditional Arabic city is built. The museum will extend out into the water, a nod to the element's historical importance in Islamic architecture.
You can't forget about the way that Abu Dhabi was created with water in mind, with the vision of a landscape of the bridges, each time being conscious of the climate. This museum is on the one hand part of the city and on the other a palace.
Nouvel was joined in Abu Dhabi by French Culture Minister Fleur Pellerin this week to check on the structure's progress. 2/3 of the new Louvre will be covered in a white dome, taking the shape of interlaced palm leaves. The 8 layers will allow the sun's rays to move across the building throughout the day. In total, the structure is expected to cost up to €100 million, but on the ground, no one is talking numbers.
I cannot talk about costs. Anywhere else in the UAE, I doubt that it could be done. I think it's one of these things that's only in Abu Dhabi.
Paris will send some 300 works of art to Abu Dhabi for the museum's opening expected in late 2015. Among them, pieces by Leonardo da Vinci and Vincent van Gogh. The new Louvre will be part of a wider €20 billion cultural and tourism project known as Saadiyat Island. It will also include a new branch of New York's Guggenheim and a national museum.
And the Guggenheim in Abu Dhabi is also giving people a peek at several artworks which will be displayed when it opens in 2017. 200 pieces are on show until January at the museum, while the building is being completed by architect Frank Gehry. The exhibition Seeing Through Light features artworks by international artists from the 1960s until the present day that explore the theme of light. Well, back to Paris now, and the Great Gallery of Evolution at the city's Natural History Museum is celebrating its 20th birthday. It's just had a 3-year facelift, so I went along to check it out. Square meters filled with nearly 10,000 animals. Welcome to the jungle, right here in the center of Paris. Here in the Grande Galerie de Evolution, stuffed creatures parade majestically through their various habitats. And over the past 20 years, 13 million people have visited this place.
The storm is great. It's a pretend storm.
This is one of the most visited places in Paris. Tell us about the story that you're trying to tell here.
So here we are speaking about life, about biodiversity. And the story we are telling is, first of all, to see how diverse biodiversity is, and you have all these animals reflecting all the living in Earth. And then we're speaking about evolution, how this life, how these forms, these animals, how they came. And the third part, which is very important, is to talk about man and the influence that man has on evolution and on the Earth. So it's a very relevant message.
And this is one of your favorite animals here. This is Siam?
Yes, it's Siam. It's an elephant, Asian elephant. He is born in India, where he do some lodging, working with trees, and then a circus come and they bought this elephant. So we've done some circus all around Europe. At one point, they give it to the Paris Zoo, that is managed by the French Museum, and there he spent about 20 years at the zoo, being one of the stars, the animal that all the children want to see, and then he died because he's very old, as you can see, and now he's here in this gallery.
Here, animals of all kinds teach children about the diversity of nature and about the importance of protecting it.
Oh, that's scary.
Wild animal numbers have halved in the past 4 decades as the world's human population has doubled. That's according to the Living World study by the conservation group WWF. 2 human generations, half the animals gone.
So here in this hangar we store large animals that we can't put anywhere else, but they still are good examples of how rich the biodiversity is here. For example, this panda here was given by President Mao Zedong to President Pompidou in 1969. The panda died about 10 years ago. So he had a good life in the Vincennes Zoo. And now he has a second life after being taxidermied. That's what taxidermy is really for, to prolong the life of certain animals, especially those who are representative of a certain species. So taxidermy is there to preserve organisms through techniques which have evolved over the past 2 centuries. The taxidermist is, if you like, a researcher's right hand, insofar as he makes these animals visible to others.
What really gives the impression that the animal is still alive is its face. Its expression, the eyes, the mouth, the nose. That's what people look at first, how the animal looks. So if that's done well, half of my work is done.
Well, our friend here has certainly got the look. Happy birthday to the Grand Gallery of Evolution at Paris's Natural History Museum. After 20 years, it's more impressive than ever. Well, after being seen by hundreds of thousands of people in Mexico City and Sao Paulo, the exhibition Maya, Revelation of an Endless Time is on in Paris at the Quai Branly Museum. There are 400 masterpieces from 20 Mexican museums capturing the legacy of the Mayan civilization. Katavan Gorjestani has more.
On these funerary masks, jade and seashells are assembled in a mosaic to recreate the face of the deceased, the Maya king. His soul was said to survive long after his body disappeared. The Maya displayed great technique in their sculptures and frescoes, but they weren't just artists. The Maya thrived for 3,000 years in Central America, with a civilization more advanced than European Middle Ages. Their decline started in the 9th century, but the Maya left dozens of cities as proof of their remarkable architectural and scientific skills. From these observatories, the Maya looked up at the sky and used the cycle of the stars to create calendars like these.
Here you've got the date, June 16, 730. It's very precise. The Maya had one of the most sophisticated relationships with time. They discovered the 365-day solar cycle 3,000 years before us, almost exactly. Today's astronomers only differ from the Maya by about 45 minutes.
If Mayan calendars are something we can relate to, other aspects of the culture remain a mystery, like their complex relationship with animals. For the Maya, animals had a mind and a soul that only shamans could decipher. Statues, masks, and vases. Through nearly 400 pieces, the exhibition takes the visitors on a journey into a fascinating civilization.
We're going to leave you with another fascinating exhibition in the United States. The Smithsonian Museum in Washington, D.C. is honouring the real-life Indiana Jones, Wendell Phillips, with a show of his discoveries from Yemen. Remember, our website, we're also on Twitter and Facebook. There's more news coming up on France 24 after this.